Hello, I'm here. Uh, sorry, I had an issue arise, and I'm here. An issue with my a thingy-majig, and it caused a little bit of distress, just a tad. Um, s- okay, everything seems to be working just fine. Hello, it's me. Um, welcome, early and Sam and H. Hello, hello. Um, So be continuing listening to Homestuck music um until they decide to cut me out and destroy my channel. Good evening, good evening. Tis snowing kind of a lot outside right now. I just love the snow, how it makes it so I have to shovel and struggle. It's very fun, very fun. Maybe living somewhere without snow is a better play. Whoa. Um, hello, hello. Hmm. So I was thinking about um doing something a little different today. Listen to music and doing something else. I wish we got even a little snow. At least it wouldn't be as humid. I think to get snow, you need to live in a semi-humid place anyways. Hmm, right? I guess not. When it is snowing, it's not humid because everything's too cold to be humid. Where I live, we get a decent exposure to all of the seasons and kind of the worst parts of all the seasons, besides fall. Fall is a very good season where I'm at. Probably the best season. Oh, wait, I gotta adjust this. Don't have to deal with a lot of stuff in fall. Don't have to deal with mud. Don't have to deal with bugs. Mosquitoes are gone. Mosquitoes are the worst thing about summer. Something weird about where I live. I guess not even about where I live, just about me. Is I find it harder to drive in a rainstorm than a snowstorm. A snowstorm, I feel more confident in myself, but when it's raining, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to handle that. I've driven in a blizzard. I've driven in bad rain, and I've always felt more comfortable in the blizzard. I don't know why. I feel like I guess I probably just have more experience in that. I do get a fair amount of snow where I stay. Hmm. Um. Yes. I didn't test volume because I was fixing something. Hmm. Uh, oh, it doesn't even pop up here. That's interesting. Okay. Wonder if that even pops up on stream then. I guess I'll figure that out when I do. Okay. So I wanted to add a, another journey onto this. Kind of wanted to learn how to, uh, I guess, draw. I'm putting that in quotation marks. So be testing that a little bit, getting more uh, used to it. I am very not good at that. I think it'd be fun to try to get decent at it, well, better at, I should say, with the time I have, the free time I have. And I feel like it's a good way to multitask and still stay somewhat relevant to Homestuck. Try to draw Homestuck style, and it's gonna be probably look probably a third grader could draw better than me, but it'll be fun, and hopefully I get better over the course of as long as I do it. That's my play. That's the play. Does this button work now? Hey, it does work. Okay. cool. I had an issue with one of the programs I use, and it wiped out a thingy I use, and I had to redo some stuff. And I can kind of notice it. It bugs me a little bit. But that's kind of my play today. And yeah. Just the right button. Yeah. Um oh, there's no volume thing on this. This is gonna be loud. Okay. I'm gonna go from their Bandcamp page this time. This doesn't pop up in my volume thing, which is kind of weird. Huh. Normally it pops up in a section over here. So I'm gonna look here. I guess I'm gonna mute audio and see how it sounds, how loud it gets. It'll be right there. Yeah. Where's the loudest part of this song at? Oh. Oh, it did pop up. Okay. Just needs to be playing the audio. I think that should be a decent volume. Okay. Boom. That's kind of okay. Do I move? Do I move chat? I'm somewhat fond of it on the top of the screen. If I F11, it looks better to an extent. Yeah. Crystal. Okay. Oh, I guess one. Oh, I have a. Oh, they can't. Like, okay, they hung up. Okay, they stopped the phone call. I had a phone call, then they stopped. Okay. I guess one issue with using this, I can't see who did it. Doesn't show me who did it, so I am not using this method. I will use the method I was using before. I thought it would be nice to try out from the Bandcamp. So we'll do this. And then just close out of that. Wow. We're back from where we started. Okay. I guess like normal, I'll read the track commentary. Clark Powell. Let me tell you of this song's origin, for I saw it unfold with my own eyes. After our South by Southwest showcased concert, Astro Kid and I both found ourselves back at his apartment. Still in our stage costumes, we opened our cans of Dr. B and casually sat around his bedroom. Computers were turned on, subwoofers were turned up, and so began that we started remixing. Nearly 2 months later, we sat in the back of a van amongst instruments and gear on our way to play another concert, this time at a Houston anime convention. Computers were turned on, headphones were turned up. It was here that. So is that Crystal Methicans or Crystal Meth Equins? Equins? Begun so many weeks earlier, was finally completed. After deciding that the track art would not be a hastily photoshopped image of Troll Brian Cranston. Okay, so does Equins. What does Equins mean? I came to someone I already trusted. Richard Gung is Richard Gung is arguably the master, and his track art was well worth the cost he took for me in that dark alley. The song was chosen from among its peers to open Volume 9 There it stands proudly to this day. Okay. I like that. Do they have more track art? Yeah. I like that one. Is Astro could have? Okay, that was their first one. Okay. Because I didn't recognize that game name. Dark Pablo, I do. Like, a lot. I like them a lot. Wrap Off. Malcolm Brown. I don't think this counts. We are in the shit show now. We are motherfucking entrenched in this bitch. That's right. It's time to talk about Androids 2.0. Hands up, everyone who thought Brobot would have been a better name. Yeah, that's what I thought. Still, here we are. So let's commence the proceedings. The concept. So much of the inspiration here comes directly from Dave's sprite, which I remember thinking, oh god damn, if that Yamaha YM2612 Genesis slash Mega Driveness doesn't fit Dave quite well. Enter Dirk Strider and his robotic creations. Suddenly, a synthy retro chips tune doesn't sound so out of place. My idea was formed fairly early on after we learned a bit of his pastime. I came up with the idea of having a kind of workshop theme where Dirk would put some music on and get to work constructing some robot or other. From here, there was a number of prerequisites. One, must be kind of funky. Dude is a strider after all. So we're looking at a bit of a groove with the beats. Two, must have square waves, which is sort of the national instrument of Robania. Three, solos. All this in mind, I nabbed a general purpose Genesis sound font, which seems to be compromised of voices mainly nabbed from Sonic. Certainly the percussion is. You should be able to recognize the snare from the opening riff of Sonic the Hedgehog. And got to work. Name. Yeah, so I thought Brobots would have been a better name, especially because that's became their canon name in the comic. But by then, Hussie had used it in the comic under the name Androids, so it stuck. I appended a 2.0 on it because the versions became fairly different. I also figured some people might want the original version 1.0 used in the comic after the album came out. Speaking of which, version 1, listen to it here. This was an in progress version that Hussie nabbed early on before I made changes to create the newer version. I'll go into why it changed in a bit, but here's a good place to discuss the track at large. The main theme is here, but a bit lazier. It doesn't have a lot of swing it later developed. It also opens with just a percussive whiff, which is probably most influenced by the likes of Toe Jam and Earl. Overall, I reckon this version lacked energy, so I needed a bit of a rework before I reckoned it was cool enough to be a Strider song. Version 2. The percussive intro was removed in favor of a. I'm gonna move this actually. Be a little weird. Maybe this works better. The percussive intro was removed in favor of a booting up thing, just a bended square, followed by a not so subtle parody of the original Game Boy boot up noise. The main guitar riff came back with a bit of a stereo, which I tried to use a bit more of. At 23 seconds, we jump into the first various solos. One of the tricky parts of chiptune music is, yes, you have limited channels, voices, and often no polyphony, multiple notes on the same track at the same time. So if you want to make it sound realistically retro, you need to abide by these laws. But that doesn't mean you can't play with pitch, modulation, stereo, etc. The solos were effectively a lesson in mucking about with these to create something that sounded fairly dynamic for a sequenced solo. At 40 seconds, just before the main melody kicks in, we have the first boot error sound. Just a flat bass note on the square. There's one at the end as well. The main concept was while he's building these robots, occasionally something will go wrong. it'll fail to start or it'll start going haywire. And so he has to unplug and start again, trying something else. 43 seconds has the main melody. It's similar to the original version one, but it's been funked up a bit, mainly to avoid it sounding like other stuff. I'm looking at you, Lady Gaga's Alejandro, again. Bit of pitch wobbliness to give an air of a kind of hectic technological mess. The second solo changes the key, and here the idea is Dirk moves on to working on something else. As the solo continues, it gets more and more hectic until it's just splattering notes everywhere. Like the robot's gone completely off the rails and it's flailing around the room. At a minute 35, it's promptly shut down and we bridge back into the main melody again. This bridge was removed from V1, but brought back in by, well, Rad's request. I liked it too, though. Has a sonic-y feel to it. Bit of harmonizing later, partially indicating that robot. Yeah, can I like open up two of these? I have this like in like a lower spot, so it's like a little weird to read. Can I? Oh, looks like I can't. Tis a shame. Bit of harmonizing later, partially indicating that the robot Dirk's working on has started to play ball and is synchronizing with his personality. One last perfected solo, 1 minute 58, which is actually a modified version of the original solo that's basically a lot wilder to show we finally perfected the upgrade and ready to ship. So with that, everything's shut down and the song ends. Granted, I probably didn't manage to get this little story across with everybody. But this was the original thought process when I was making the thing. Hopefully, if you listen to it now, you'll get some of the ideas I was going for. If not, well, enjoy it however you like. Or even come up with your own interpretation that's better than mine. Jonathan Griffins was the track art man of the hour. There's even a Mega Drive controller there. And how are those shades staying on? All around awesome. Okay. Boom. I'll put that up there while I continue my escapades of being. Dun, 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 dun. This is actually way smaller than that. Huh. Oh, whoa! I pulled down everything. Okay, that's Androids. Trepidation by Zvix. I think I liked Havoc. Havoc was one I liked a lot, I believe. Okay. Is that a heart? That is a heart. Okay. Trepidation. Sounds like a little quieter. Trepidation. That was nice. Firefly. Bazinki. Here he is. The man himself. Firefly is a special song. I was walking through a small lot of to my apartment in the summertime, and fireflies were all around me. And I just thought of the perfect theme for it, and I rushed into my apartment as fast as I could to get it down. It's the only song that that's come to me like that. I think fireflies are actually like their population's dwindling very fast, right? I think they are. Huh. It's like something weird like that. Firefly. Whistling Jackhammer by Robert J. Lake. Oh. Whistling Jackhammer. Ugly Betty by Robert Jake Lake. Tavia Mora. Oh, the cover art. RJ gave me the reins on this one. At first, I was drawing it in the same style as a later track, before the beginning and after the end. I did art for, but then it quickly turned into a painting. This palette in particular was fun and challenging to work with. I'm happy with the end result since it looks like the battered witch is cackling as the world burns around her. Okay. Huh. Ugly Betty. Hate You? Is this... Okay, it is one of the whatchamacallits. Laughter. Yeah, this is like song's kind of torturous, kind of, just because of. Oh, flips. Hmm. Oh, it stops snowing. Hmm. Boom. Pumpkin Party in See Hitler's Water Apocalypse by Malcolm Brown. This good ass cover art. Malcolm Brown. Ah, this one's pretty good. Okay. Malcolm Brown. Ah, Pumpkin Party in See Hitler's Water Apocalypse. Or Pumpkin Party in Colony 413, or whatever I was calling it before I decided to go nuts. The original working title was just Pumpkin Party. So at the very least, we started somewhere sensible. So let's have a chat about where this one came from, the concept. So about this panel. Oh. Um okay. This panel. Boom. During Dirk's history lesson of the future, we got a glimpse as to what Roxy was up to, helping the locals out in the post-apocalyptic hell future. Some bizarre idea came about that herself and the Carpassians would get together and have a little underground party away from the watchful gaze of the Condens. And her drones and the like. Gotta find some way to keep your spirits up, right? So, with that incredibly vague concept, the idea was born to come up with some small lights of goodness and happiness in, well, see Hitler's water apocalypse. The name, as mentioned, this changed a few times, but this line sums up pretty much everything you need to know about the future. Like, what is even your day to day business like in See Hitler's Water Apocalypse? The track. As I recall, with this one, it was mainly the instruments chosen that defined it. The banjo was struck the right kind of sound. Oh, the banjo just struck the right kind of sound. And from there, an accordion to give it a bit of a polka feel. A lot of the crafting of this one was trying desperately not to have it ending up too much like Levin Polka, which, thanks to a month of Project Diva on PSP, is firmly embedded in my brain. The idea of mixing chiptune samples and real instruments is something I was playing a lot with this album. Encore does it as well, as did the dropped Mother. I felt this was kind of neat. This is where we were, and this is where we are now concepts. Homestuck is still a game, and it's neat to embed some of the more obvious gamey elements now and then. Plus, it might just be me, but accordions and square waves really go well together. The oohs, ahs, chants were added just to give it a bit more of a folk appeal, and the air raid signs were added last to build up the scenes of this party going on while the world's gone to hell outside. Perhaps some other colonies getting obliterated for whatever reason. Either way, it, it bookends the song quite nicely, coming back now and then and returning at the end to signify the dance is over. My favorite bit of the whole thing is the solo at 1 minute 56. It's just so gosh darn happy. Overall though, it's a bit of a zany dance party track completely juxtapositions the hell nightmare outside. And in the end, that's the point. Of course, things get worse, but Red Miles and see Hitler's Water Apocalypse will have to wait. Damn, I just realized I should have added some meows. I've got like 2 cats in here ready for a vocal performance as well. Ah, well, the road not taken. Once again, the art is very spiffy, so many thanks to Marina. Ooh. Look at that dude in the corner. That pumpkin is so nommed. Okay. Well, this is her first one. I guess that kind of makes sense. Well, unless someone swapped their style insanely. You can really hear it. I'm kind of partial to these kind of songs. I guess I just love those songs actually. Those types. I guess just polkas kinda. Skya Nets. Oh. By Mark Hadley. That's way off. I guess this should be more up here though. It's just because the head's shaped weird. I messed up the head there. A lot. Oh well. General shape. Oh. Ba-da-da-dun. Did I open that on accident? I did not. Oh my god. Another jungle. Michael Guy Bowman. Page that feature Jane Enter. Michael Guy Bowman. Before this track was used in Homestuck along with Beat Fox's A Taste for Adventure. It was actually made for a nearly 3-year-old defunct fan project. House Trapped was a story about an alternate suburb session, and Another Jungle was the same but different theme for the loading screen of that universe's suburb client. Sound familiar? When we shifted into gear to create new Homestuck music following the start of Act 6, I was asked to refurbish the forgotten 40-second theme I'd written as the theme to Suburb Alpha. Another Jungle is thus the alpha equivalent of Suburban Jungle, which I had written back when Homestuck began. Structurally, both songs are very similar, but each with their own melodies and sound choices. Another Jungle has the benefit of years of experience with production I did not have when Homestuck began. And to me, the fidelity difference really shows. Since writing Suburban Jungle, I'd become far more familiar with automation, recording, EQ, mixing, mastery, and all the techniques that polish a music project. Another Jungle is far more dynamic than its predecessor, with each subsequent section of the song having its own unique way of using the instruments and sounds in the project. My favorite touches to this one are all the very mellow sounds that contrast with the brisk pacing of the track. Various pads of wah-wah guitar, the echoing melody, all of it underlined by drums with brute synth loops. The sudden change in energy when guitars duck out and in the middle of the melody of Showtime whispers in is a favorite moment of mine. The very pop ending with its retro house sound was another choice I wouldn't have seen myself making 3 years back. Hope you would enjoy this one as much as I do. The artwork for this track is by Richard Gong. Bah. I guess I was a little late on that one. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh, that's weird. What is that thing? Circle over. It's so loud. It's like a weird. Go out and meet where that end ends. should look more like that. Bow, bow, bow. Oh, whoa, I had this in the way. Circle. Tis a circle. Hello, hello again. Dun, 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 dun. Gamer girl. Oh, wait, they got an actual. Oh, it's the lady. Yeah, she was the same one that posed up. Yeah, the nice costumes and poses. Michael Guy Bowman. Originally, we planned on doing a Homestuck album that was devoted entirely to the suburb alpha kids in their session. All of us doing tracks that would parallel earlier tracks in a same but different fashion. While this album became Homestuck Volume 9, a lot of analogous tracks remained from the original concept, including this track as an alternate to Game Bro original 1990 mix from Homestuck Volume 6, Air Transparent. Well, we can only imagine what the set decorating Game Girl magazine from Jane Crocker's bedroom might actually be like. It's pretty easy for me, as a child of the 90s, to imagine how the magazine might have looked in the era of the Burger King's Kids Club and Lisa Frank. With Gamer Girl, I attempted to capture a lot of the basic messages perpetuated to girls by children's advertising in the 90s. Boys are gross and need to have their butts kicked. Girls are cool and should pretend to understand pop culture. Clubs must be started in treehouses and couch forts to keep boys out. Oh. Parents suck and will never understand. You can trust corporate America. The music was a hodgepodge of a lot of things. The production style of early 90s house music, D Lights and Kathy Dennis were my main references, was coupled with the intentionally insipid rap vocals in a time in which many game commercials had awful raps. The lead vocals are performed by Tavia Mora, though whose vocals I discovered sound scarily childlike when sped up slightly. We played the backup track at about 75 speed and had her rap over it to create the vocal comp before speeding it back up to create the cringeworthy little girl voice. I did a I did a digital process to lower my voice to create the pokey rap style breakdown towards the middle of the track, and then asked Eric Scheel to play a painfully retro MIDI guitar solo. For the track art, Loveling created and posed for by Tavia. Among our many references were Alex Mack and the Olsen twins. The big deal breaker for us was getting a pair of overalls, a garment seemingly synonymous with the 90s. We spent nearly 3 hours hunting a pair in Austin, coming up short at Walmart, Academy, Sheeplers, Cavaliers Boot City, Goodwill, a costume store, a paint store, and a plumbing store before finally finding a wearable piece 17 miles out of town at a farm supply store. Apparently, humanity had the good sense to wipe that fucking hideous fashion travesty off the face of the earth at the end of the decade. I knew the Y2K bug must have done something. And now, only people who actually need them wear them. We took our pictures at the Japanese style game center Arcade UFO. Outtakes can be found here. Outtakes? I'm curious. I'm curious of these outtakes. Some of these are the photos. Game Girl pose photo shoot. This is how Tumblr. Can I just click the other photo? Okay. Oh shit. Azuma and Dio. There we go. That's the game girl herself. Tavia Mora. I don't even know where to start. One day, Bowman and I discovered that if we pitched my voice up a little higher than where it normally is, then I sounded like a 12-year-old girl. The idea for Game Girl came up later, and he proceeded to write lyrics that would make any 90s kiddo cringe at the nostalgia of their childhood and want to do it again. I had way too much fun recording it to the point that I knocked over a music stand from dancing too much. Bowman was a fantastic coach. It's always a pleasure to work with him. The track art has more of a story to it than I would have cared for, but Bowman and I both knew we had to go all the way with the track art, and so begun our quest for the Game Girl outfit, which we found all of the clothing elements for except for the overalls. We figured we're just going to go around the corner to the Goodwill, find a pair of overalls, slap those suckers on, and get the track art done within about an hour tops. But no, 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 no. We ended up shopping for 3 hours at 9 separate stores before we found those goddamn overalls. Bowman live tweeted our journey. Photo bucket. Does photo bucket still exist? Eventually, we got the overalls and proceeded to take the most fantastic picture ever. I'll be posting up some other photos from that day later on, so keep your eyes peeled. All in all, this track's probably the most involved I'd been on a Homestuck album, and am so glad it was this one. I had a blast. Okay, Game Girl, let's hear it. Boom. Because I know the song already, but.
Yeah. What's up, gamers? I'm Game Girl, and I'm here to show you that girls can game too. Don't go easy on me, guys, unless you want to get beat by a girl. Are you ready? Well, let's do this! Yo, I'm the Game Girl, and I got the scores, cause I whip butt and game hardcore. I might look cute, but I play to win, so get your head in the game, cause we're about to begin. I got sweet moves and secret skills to pull off the codes, the combos, and kills. Tapping my fingers like a maniac. This girl's not bad on a game attack. When I'm on the scoreboard, you sure can tell. Cause I spell my score GRL. You gamer guys better take it like a man. If you can't keep up, then talk to the hand. I'm the Game Girl. The best in the world. Girls rule.
Game Girl.
And boys drool. I'm kicking rad. You're super bad.
Game Girl.
Better than the rest. When you game with a Game Girl, you're gaming with the best. When I say game, you say girl. Game.
Girl.
Game. When I say best, you say the world. Best in. Best in. When I say girls, you say rule. Girls. Girls. When I say boys, you say drool. Boys. Boys. Let's have a dance party right now. Everybody, do the wave. Yeah, that's pretty good. Check it out. I'm dancing. Check this move out. Oh man. Oh yeah. I'm having so much fun. This is like a slumber party where there's nothing to do but play games all night long. Oh yeah, and no boys allowed. Not that I
I see
care.
improvement
I
already.
can beat any boy
Oh, wow.
at any game, anytime, anywhere.
Social games, fighting games, action, RPG, shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, virtual reality, dating sims, fight sims, CD on a console, handheld,
That sounds like
arcade,
something that'd be
tabletop,
legit in the
turn-based, card-based,
2000s,
tactical
2010s.
strategy, text-based adventure, point-click mystery, FPS, racers, platforms, rhythm games, cheats, involved, and anything you can name.
I feel like it'd be more like made. It would have been more of a joke in the 2010s and 2000s. Like a reference to the 90s stuff.
Gamer guys better run and hide. Cause I'm the baddest, so step aside. I got the stats, and that's my proof. So come on and raise the roof.
Exactly.
I'm the Game Girl. The best in the world. Girls rule. And boys drool. I'm kicking rad. You're super bad. Cause I got the moves, so step into my gamer crew. Don't be a wimp.
check you later, girlfriends. Do they ever check us later? I guess I'm not one of the girlfriends, so I wouldn't be in that. So I guess. Boom. Assault. Oh my god, it's Roxy with a gun. Assault. Oh, wait. Yes. I do this now. I hunt down what this is. Whoa. Oh. Okay. Paste and search. Yeah. Yep, that's it. That's Volume 10 is Tagiri and what's this guy's name again? He's like the B that's like, oh yeah, HGD fan? What's his name? I forgot his name. No. Oh, I'm sorry. No. It's here. The Zabidi. Damn. I forgot his name. Assault by Toby Fox. Do something like that. This should be shorter, probably. Furry Mega Man. A little fight music. Okay, Thomas Furco. It's like a scarier version of G-Cat. I like it, Tom Fergal. Austin Atlantis. Clark Powell. Nothing inspires me more than spaces, regardless of whether they are real or virtual. Example includes cities, mountains, buildings, individual rooms, even entire planets. See Medium. Austin is currently my real world home, and to imagine it flooded and empty is a fascinating thing. Should Dirk ever decide to explore beyond Houston, what forgotten worlds would he find in the other lost Texan fortresses? The whole song was written to musically explore the sunken Austin and to deliver a strong atmosphere and sense of place. The parts I used to piece together this portrait are the constituent Homestuck tunes, each of which I chose because of thematic applicability. They include Beatdown, Explore, Flare, and even Atom Embryo Empire. To capture the same essence visually in the track arts, I knew I could trust Tynick? She is an incredible background artist with an uncanny sense for colors and composition. I am so proud of her work here. The song just wouldn't be the same without the accompanying artwork. Additional fun fact: the entire song is played off key, detuned into the spaces between quarter notes. The piano itself is significantly flat. This surprised me in how far it went towards making the sound sunken. That's kind of like a good note just to have in general. Huh. I guess I might also draw as like glasses for once. I guess they are. These are way too big now. Despot. Oh. Who? Eric Shield. They're gonna cook. Eric Shield started as a sequel to Upward Movements before Hussie skipped over that entire sequence, which made me try to build it into a general Dirk theme, sort of like a rise to power, from princehood to kinghood or summit. Summit? Maybe even a character theme, though I can't really make those calls. Tavia. This picture started with an innocent suggestion from RJ, who imagined Dirk riding a super hang on motorcycle. To this song, I took the idea over to Jit, who then helped me develop the picture to what it became, suggesting the Final Fantasy VII motorcycle chase as inspiration, and to turn the motorcycle into Sawtooth. Okay. So what you got, Eric Shield? Ooh. Boom, 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 boom. Despot. Stress. Fucking. Dark Side 2 gives me like Black Star vibes from Soul Eater a little bit. Toby Fox. Art by P. Rowe at nomorepros.tumblr.com. P. Rowe always does a maximally amazing job, so why I asked her to draw the art is a non-question. Stress is Stress is actually a pretty faithful arrangement of an original track by Buzinkai. Buzinkai. Buzinkai has been responsible for several Homestuck important melodies like Doctor, Endless Climb, and Explore, and her work, for me, has always established a certain essence of what Homestuck is. My goal for this piece was actually to create a classic Strife theme for Dirk with the core feeling of earlier pieces like Showtime or Doctor. So basing the piece off of something with that essence was important. Ooh. I can't say why Bunzenkai hmm, wrote wrote this piece the way she did, so I'll instead highlight the differences between the original and my arrangements, updated the instrumentation. Buzenkai's usage of PX tone is indeed charming and nostalgic sounding, but I wanted to push things a bit further. One major difference is the arrangement of the strings. Buzenkai's PX tone strings have have a sharp attack to them, while mine come on a bit softer but are thicker. My strings then sound more lush but less urgent. I added a section between the original A section and B section with lower intensity. This was because the song got a bit too repetitive and static, simply repeating, like Bazinkai's oddly. Oddly, the repeats didn't bother me in his track. I think this is partially because my loop point, unlike Bazinkai's, lowers the intensity a lot more by removing a bunch of instruments where his simply flows into oh, my bad, into a repeat. I need to think about that more. Added an introduction and a true ending to make it more of a proper start to finish song. But the similarity to Teal Hunter and a fun syncopation lesson. Syncopation lesson. Action. This was unintentional. I not only started my arrangement of this song before the contest was conceived. Bazinkai made the original song back in 2010, though as soon as I heard Teal Hunter, I knew people would call out the similarities because, surprise, there are plenty of them. Here's the big one. Both pieces are in 5/4, 5 beats per measure, try counting to 5 over and over on the beats. And use the same syncopation. Syncopation equals the division of notes into smaller, offbeat rhythms within the measure. Throughout the track, actually, many pieces in 5/4 use this syncopation, see Hollow Bastion. Why do composers keep doing this? 2 reasons. 1, because it sounds awesome. 2nd, because the main way to compose in odd time signatures like 5/4 or 13/4 is actually cut things into smaller units of 3, 2, or 4. Though each measure is comprised of 5 total beats, each measure in these songs is cut into 10 notes of half in length going 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 3 2 2. Yeah. Wow. That was a very poor explanation, but please go to the Hollow Bastion video I linked and count 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 very quickly. Along each note the harp plays, you'll get it. And I'm just making things more confusing. But isn't it awesome how the syncopation switches at the end of the 4 measure phrase to 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 1 2? The little bit of contrast makes it feel complete. So why don't people just cut things differently? Like 3 2 2 3. It's definitely possible. Here's my theory about why people favor the syncopation they do. It seems like ending a measure with a shorter note on the beat leads into the next measure more naturally. Even sounds like a leading dun dun. This is supported by the fact that one of the most popular syncopations in essence is the one in 4/4 that goes 3/3/2. This is probably the same principle. 3/3/2 on off on 3/3/2 on off on on. Besides the fact that syncopation is identical, the chords and melodies are similar, and the way the strings are used are basically the same. I have no explanation for this other than great minds think alike. Random fun fact: Awakening is also in 5/4. Go to 140 and sing the melody to Stress. Hell, I'll do it for you. Oh, wait. Oh, they just bring it back. I don't know how well it syncs up with the thing. I should sync up my mic better. It fits. The main melody of Awakening also starts with a similar rhythm as Stress. It's the curse of the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2s. Wow, I really got off track here, but I hope you learned something today. Yes, Bill Bolin also started an arrangement of this piece before he left the team. I think attracted we were both attracted to the same essence, President Bazinka's piece. Bonus challenge. See if you can count out how I divide the measures in this song. If you can do this, you can clearly understand how to compose in time signatures like this. It's actually very simple and derived directly from other breakdowns I did. Boom. Oh, the jump scare. Hmm. Boom. Stress by the lad himself. Mini Hoof's Adventure. Oh, that's cute art. By Michael Guy Bowman with vocals. Michael Guy Bowman. I get the feeling that down the line there will be an explanation for why exactly there's a tiny maple hoof on Dirk's desk, and it will be one of the biggest revelations in all of Homestuck. For me, it was a cue that there needed to be a suburb alpha universe parallel for the song Maple Hoof's Adventure, which in itself was a spiritual sequel to Pony Corral. It's sort of a reality check to realize that I have written not one, not two, but three songs for cartoon ponies now. I guess that's part of this disease we call the internet. Oh, did a Q&A with AZ Calzones. AZ's Calzones? Hmm. I wonder how many songs the Living Tombstone has about ponies, cartoon ponies. Hmm. One, two. probably too many to. I am curious now on this comparison. Um, I am gonna go off track here. I just need to. Okay, I reset. I reset. Living Tombstone discography. Thank you, Wikipedia page. Oh, wait. Okay. It was sadly not plot relevant, but Mini Hoof was adorable, and it's a travesty that they didn't get more of them. Yes, yes. It's a YouTube channel that does some amount of Homestuck content. If I look up their channel, will I like see 1,000 spoilers if I do that right now? Wait, no, I want to look at oldest. Oh, not shorts, videos. 1. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. A lot. Old. Old. Wow. When did I think it was like yeah, okay. When did I stop listening to Living Tombstone? I listened to Living Tombstone when I was like a young lad. Wow. I actually have no idea how their current music sounds at all. Yes. Huh. I'm surprised how like massive the Living Tombstone is now. Damn. Huh. I remember when this came out. Damn. 14 years ago. Wow. Huh. Boom. Boom. Wow. Dun boom. As with the previous installments, I used a sample of Tavia More saying nay to punctuate phrases. This time sped up to about double speed to have that chipmunk-esque effect. Everything about this song is a bit faster paced and squeakier to reflect the stature of the tiny horse. The orchestration was largely inspired by my last trip to Disneyland. The whistles are arranged to sound a bit like the teapot from Alice in Wonderland. The horn synths were selected because of their resemblance to a merry-go-round organ. Along with recent tracks like Another Jungle and Elephant's Gun, this song represents one of my attempts to stick less closely to a predictable song form. The key signature moves up a whole step around 32 seconds, in and never comes back down, and the main repeated refrain that ties the song together is the little cadence that shows up at the end of each section. I stuck to my guns as a high school music theory student on this one, mostly drawn from Mozart and Sousa. Yeah. It's an overstimulating mess of counterpoints. My main goal was to see if it would annoy composition major Eric Scheel. It worked. Out of all the tracks from Volume 9 I worked on, this one was a real breeze. I was on such a roll that I considered making it 10 minutes long just to piss off everyone. But I knew that I'd most likely be asked to cut it down if I'd gone to that kind of excess. And I had other tracks to work on. The track art was done by Tavia Mora. Tavia Mora. Bowman and I quickly settled on the idea of picture emphasizing the size of Minihoof, but couldn't decide on a specific way to show it. Maybe putting maybe put a magnifying glass over the little pony, having her next to Dirk's hand while he typed on the computer. The energy of the track made us think of little Minihoof running through an obstacle course Dirk set up for her on his desk. Thus the stapler, the tacks, the brads, the pencils, and the Game Bro magazines. This was a super fun one for me since I had such a personal investment in it. Okay. Okay. The implication is these open and closed too. Technically, they wouldn't be able to open though, huh? They'd be all weird, like the scissors. Hmm. Boom. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I kind of want a game based on that art and this music. I didn't realize those were called brads. These little like thingy majigs. That's that's good to know. That's good to know for future. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Michael Guy Bowman's Mini Hoof Adventure. Sad Mini Hoof didn't actually do much. Encore by Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown. Let's talk about Encore, or Showtime 2, Encore, the concept. So, back in the early days of Volume 9, the idea was the new session. The further idea was to take the tracks and themes of volume 1, Act 1, and re scratch them to come up with a parallel for the new session and the new kids. Where this idea started to fall to bits was expecting the act to play similarly to Act 1, which it quickly didn't. Still, by this point, we had a decent collision of reimagined classic tracks and strife/character themes for the new kids, so on with the show. Encore was a straight up, let's bring Showtime kicking and screaming into the new session, but with a little bit mixed, yet still recognizable. The name should be obvious, Showtime. Encore, the track. Making Showtime or orchestral wasn't too hard. The idea of a very pompy brass adventure/combat affair was formed fairly early on. I think the main channeling came from a Power Stone/Smash Brothers esque zany combat idea. Most of the voices come from EWQL's symphonic orchestra, with a bit of sound fonts for the later Showtime segment. The section at 22 seconds has a bit of a history. It was originally a straight up lift off arrangement, but I pulled it back and made it considerably less obvious. I've become hesitant of liftoff since someone pointed out it sounds like the Bruce Lee story theme. I did leave the little brass phrases that punctuated it, which intentionally/subconsciously might be referencing Earthsea Borealis. This wasn't intended, but it's probably close enough for it not just to be a coincidence, and enough people seem to be picking up on this accidental reference, so what the hell. Next, it returns to the alternate Showtime and adds on Unite Synchronization. Does a floaty little bridge afterwards, and then we get into the original Showtime. I pondered adding this for a while, since it felt a bit, yes, we get it, this is a Showtime thing. You don't need to actually add the thing in. But eventually I liked the idea of it smashing in, completely brazen with its NESy sound font and blaring the original track in the last section of the song. We then wind down with the fast-paced percussion and the starting brass arrangement, just enough time for a post-battle ass-kicking pose, and then boom. I think writing tracks for characters like John/Jake's quite fun in that they've got this bottomless optimism and carefree attitude. Plus, they do silly things. Silly things are quite fun to score. And that's Encore. Hope y'all enjoyed that little trip back down memory lane. Okay. Bop. Okay, so I have a random theory regarding The Incredibles. Do you think the reason Seacrum got away with his crimes for so long was because the super suits didn't have trackers? And that's why she put one in Bob's new suit. I can't really remember The Incredibles too well. I guess it does kind of line up with does line up with the other things she doesn't like for certain issues in adapting. I'm trying to remember the DVD bonus tracks of the first one where they had. I guess you can't really hear me over the song. But pause it for a second, actually. Then, right when it starts getting into itself, because Edna probably knew former supers were disappearing, but she couldn't find them. Maybe could be a fun idea. It does line up with. Was it? No, she didn't make the cape for the guy, right? She just hates capes, and that's like one reason she says, or it's implied. I can't remember if she says it or implies it. And then, it could also just be superheroes were illegal at that point in that point in the Incredibles, right? Or no, or this was in the first one. The first one when she had it? Yeah. Right? No. I'm trying to remember what happens in the Incredibles. I'm gonna let this play out. I'm gonna look. Okay. Back to the Incredibles. So I just pulled the wiki real quick. It doesn't really say anything. It did mention the cape thing I was talking about. It could also just it could be that. It could just also just simply be she designed it with the idea of it being a family suit, right? She already had the idea of making one for for his entire family, right? Trying to think. So it could just be that, just like, oh, it's a family suit. Let's let the family track the family. A few things. Hmm. The Incredibles DVD bonus features are pretty cool. With the what did they have extra moments with the cast and like or was it the National Super Agency? This was pretty cool, I think. I think this is it. If I click that, will it play it? Please don't be super loud. Oh, it has all of them. Okay. This is pretty cool to check out if you've never if you like the Incredibles a lot. And Dogman 15. Dogman. That sound familiar. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Boom. Okay. Talk about many things. Is it worth watching Hoppers? She handled the crisis pretty well in retrospect. She survived. That's, I guess, what else could you ask for? So, Hoppers, I hear, is good. I really like Pixar movies. This one is Pixar, right? Or is this one just general Disney, actually? What does it tell me here? Might just be Disney. Pixar by Pixar, yeah. So, I hear this movie's good. I grew up being a big Pixar fan. Really liked Pixar. I do find it kind of sad that there's probably a generation that grew up with really mid, kind of awful, not awful, I guess. A lot of mid Pixar movies, like a good one, then a mid one. Good one kind of sucks. Good one, and yeah. I hear Hoppers is really good, and I kind of want to check it out. What really made me want to check it out is Fujimoto, um, the mangaka for Chainsaw Man, said the movie was very good and they enjoyed it a lot, and it makes me want to watch it. I trust Fujimoto. That man's cooking in JJK, not JJK, Chainsaw Man right now. And if part two of Chainsaw Man may end next week, I am I don't know how I feel about it. They did some interesting things. Toy Story 5 trailer. I have not seen Toy Story 5 trailer. I actually haven't watched Toy Story 4, actually. Oh, wait. I watched 1, 2, and 3. Thought it was a damn good trilogy. And I just never had time to watch. I guess I just never went on my way to watch 4. 4 came out. When did Toy Story 4 came out? How old would I have been? 2019. I would have been 19 when this movie came out. And I was kind of out of the range, and I was like, really wanted to watch some of these movies. What is Pixar's movie? Pixar film. I'd rather type in filmography, but films work too. This in chronological order? It is. So, Pixar movies, right? Toy Story, goated. A Bug's Life, really good. Ant is actually good too. The other Ant movie, Ants, is very good. I've not seen 4, but Toby Fox may or may not have worked on 5. But who's to say? It might be a bit. That's impossible to explain. It, Monsters Inc. He just like does one voice. He says one line, makes a scream in the background or something. Monsters Inc. Goated. Finding Nemo goated. The Incredibles goated. Cars. I really like Cars. Ratatouille goated. Wall-E goated. Up goated. Toy Story 3 goated. And then they had some like ups and downs after this point, right? After 2010, some of the ups and downs happen. Cars 2, Brave. Some people like Brave, some people don't. I really like Brave. Brave is up there on my favorite Pixar movies. And what are we doing? Talking about Pixar coming from The Incredibles. So no, Toby Fox didn't work on Toy Story 5. Monsters University, fucking amazing movie. Inside Out. Inside Out for the longest time was one of my favorite movies. So I really like this. The Good Dinosaur kind of sucks. Kind of sucked. This movie was banned in my sister's house. One of her kids had an issue of acting like a dog, kind of. They started talking like a dog and acting like a dog. And this was before watching The Good Dinosaur. This was before A Good Dinosaur was a thing. And then they watched this movie and it made it worse. So this movie became banned in my sister's household because her youngest son at the time was acting like a dog. I found out it was banned because I put it on because I like Pixar movies, and I think The Good Dinosaur had some had some potential. Finding Dory was an okay movie. This one was pretty all right. Cars 3, very good. I actually really like Cars 3. Coco, I like Coco. Incredibles 2, it was it served well enough for what it is, being a sequel to The Incredibles. It wasn't like, whoa, The Incredibles is back, but I was like, oh, that's nice. The Incredibles are back. I did not watch this. I did not watch Onward. Onward's one I wanted to watch. Did not watch Soul. Did not watch Luca. So yeah, so probably when I guess when I turned like 19ish, I stopped watching like Pixar movies. This must have been, I must not have been like babysitting my sister's kid as much. My sister, I guess my nephews and nieces as much here. Uh, Luca. I did watch Turning Red. Turning Red weirdly got a ton of hate. I really don't know why to this day. Kind of. I I watched Coco. I liked Coco a lot. Turning Red. Turning Red. Surprised this one got so much hate. I guess I'm not too surprised, but I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, very good movie. Didn't watch Lightyear. Didn't watch Elemental. Had to watch Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 so was a sequel to one of my favorite movies when I was probably, I guess, 15. I was at what's that called? I was at Purdue Jerry. Yeah. I went to this place through like a grant in quotation marks, I want to say. Elemental was a lot better than I expected. Turning Red, that movie, that famously takes place in September 2001. That's all I know about it. Yeah, they never mention it. I went to this place. It's like a place where kids kind of come from around the world and do some like some things at Purdue University. And I was here, and we had a one of the years I went here, I went watched. They do a movie field trip, and all the students go watch. Everyone goes watch a movie. The movie I chose watch was Inside Out. I already watched it like one other time before this point, and it's probably the one most students picked. Seeing that many people crying when Bing Bong sacrifices himself was an experience. I it was so weird. It was weird. I was hanging out with these people, all these people, and we all walked from some place to there and there to some place. And a lot of people cried. Basically everyone cried at Inside Out with Bing Bong sacrificed himself. And if you didn't cry at that part, I don't know. I don't know. Do you even have a heart? Do you have a heart? Bing bong, bing bong. Uh, Inside Out 2 was all right. It was no Inside Out, but I like this one a lot. I like the I guess I like the overall thing it was playing at compared to the first one, and it was more of like anxiety stuff, and trying to. She wanted to be with the cool kids, the good kid, like the pros, right? Essentially, the best at hockey, because she wanted to be good at hockey too, right? I thought it was fun. And I'm trying to think of the issues I had with this one. I can't fully remember them because when it comes to Pixar movies, I prefer to think about the good things. Because Pixar was one of my childhood favorite things, just to watch. Um, I've seen some like I want to say bad reviews on Soul, so I don't know if I want to watch this one. Luca's one I want to watch. Onward's one I want to watch. Elemental was there. I don't know if this one's ever caught my attention. I am 26 years old now, and Hoppers is catching my attention. This one, and then next week, I think it's next week. Might be or is it this weekend? Project Hail Mary. That movie's coming out. Apparently, that movie is probably going to be the best movie of the year. I know somebody was telling me about the book being amazing not too long ago, and now the movie's coming out, and I hear the movie's getting crazy reviews from pre-screenings and everything, and I guess probably first screening. So that one's gonna be one to check out, and it's Ryan Gosling, so it's like a literally me movie. uh, that movie, and then I guess Dune 3 is gonna come out in December. Actually, what is like? Can I just type in calendar? If I type in which one of these let me look at the calendar? This one lets me look at the calendar. Okay. I haven't watched a lot of movies in a while. That's kind of like the same for me ish. I used to watch a lot of movies. When I was in high school, working in high school, I feel like I spent. I think I did the math one year. I think I spent $5,000 going to the movie theaters. I think that was like a third of what I was making at a time, or a fourth or something. And it was an insane amount. Because my friends at the time didn't have jobs, so I don't want to go watch a movie alone. What's fun about going watch a movie and not being able to talk it with your boys, your friends, and everything? So I'd pay for some of my friends to go. I'd pay for other people to go, for me to go, get us all like popcorn, soda. I spent a lot of movie on the theaters one year, and I started cutting down after that point. I think I was going once or twice a week at that point in time. Oh, that was a good time. The last movie you went and watched in theaters was the Mario movie. Is the next movie you're gonna watch in theaters Mario movie 2, starring Donald Glover as Yoshi? Boom. Oh, whoa! I meant the TV to stay there. Oh well. Last time you were at the theaters was for Sonic 3. What was the last time I went to the theaters for? You went to see it multiple times. Wow. I'm trying to think which movie came out first. Okay, last movie I went saw was Fantastic Four, I think. No. Was it Fantastic Four? Was it? No, wait. When did Sonic 3 come out? 2024. Okay. I watched Sonic 3 on my birthday. I think I still got my movie ticket because it was on my birthday. I went and watched that movie. If I it was kind of um I felt kind of embarrassed. It was my birthday and I chose to go watch Sonic 3. I would have been my 24th birthday. No, 25th birthday. I went to go watch Sonic 3. And I thought that was just kind of funny. After that, probably was a Zelda movie because I love Zelda. I think what the last movie I went and watched was. I think was it the Fantastic Four? Was it Fantastic Four or Thunder? Thunderbolts? 2025 movies. Was it really that far ago? I think it was one of those two. I think it was Fantastic Four. It's already been 2 years. Wow. It was in December when Sonic 3 came out though. Wow. Did I really only go watch? Sorry, oh. No, it was Fantastic Four was the last one I saw, I think. Yeah. Oh. I feel like I went watch one more before that. I can't remember. I remember watching Dune with a friend, but that came out before. I think it was Fantastic Four. I went and watched that with my aunt's boyfriend. They have like this AMC pass, and I was in their area, and they said they found out I didn't watch Fantastic Four, and they found out I recently watched Superman, and they were like, "Hey, you need to watch Fantastic Four. There's no there's no discussion here." I had like a layover at an airport, so I went to my aunt's house, apartment. Yeah, apartment. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what that one called. And we went to Fantastic Four. I think this was the second time I went to a nice movie theater. In my area I don't really have a super nice one. Well, my third time. First time I went to a nice movie theater was for watching a League of Legends Worlds watch party in 2022. It was probably the most bang for my buck I've ever gotten from a movie theater slushy machine. Like Worlds lasted 5-6 hours, so I had 6 hours of free refill slushies, and that's just amazing. That's amazing. Did that, then I went and watched Hatsune Miku like video game movie just because it was Hatsune Miku. I convinced my boss to go watch that one with me. We were both on work travel, and it was his car. I said, "Hey, let's go watch this." I went watch that movie with my boss. That was fun. But the Fantastic Four, I was told I needed to watch that. No discussion. Watched it, and Superman clears Fantastic Four. Easily cleared Fantastic Four. There's just really no discussion on that in my mind. It was such a good movie. But I am a sucker for James Gunn. James Gunn has like had me for so long. I'm James Gunn for life, I feel at this point. Like James Gunn, Scooby Doo, had me as a kid. It was too late for me. I was born to love this man's movies. Scooby Doo, Dawn of the Dead, yeah, everything. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Bellico experiment. Man, you agree? Good opinions sometimes. Sonic 4 will be March 19th next year. That's better than March never year. That's actually pretty close, actually. 3 years production, not bad. Huh. I guess it's not fully animated, so it's not too insane to be like that. I'm excited for Amy. Amy, my favorite Sonic characters are probably Tails, Amy, Shadow. Yeah, those are probably my top Sonic characters. Tails, Amy, Shadow, top 3 right there. Hmm. Yeah, I trust that. I trust that thought. Hmm. Okay. Boom. Okay. So tomorrow will be continuing the epilogues, and I will be figuring out what day to add the next thing. Shadow, Silver, Knuckles. I kind of forgot Silver was a thing. Blaze is the okay. Blaze, and Silver. Okay. Fuck, I should watch that fan dub, that Sonic fan dub again. Snapcube. Yeah, Snapcube's fan dubs. I love their things. Their version of what's that called? What's that game? The horror game with multiple like endings, multiple people dying. Oh well, that was a funny one. I watched that one live. But yeah, tomorrow epilogues, continuing Candy, and we'll probably discuss adding an extra day to read that to get a little through it a little faster since I'm a little impatient on certain things. What? Uh, okay, yeah, that works fine. And yeah, let's have another favorite character, but they're overhated, so fair. What? This is the end for Realzy. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll be back tomorrow. Should be 6:30 in real people time. And yeah, I'll just say just turn this into that when this is done. Yeah. What? Yeah. Thanks for hanging out and bye.